So I just got back from the theater watching Spider-Man Far From Home, and it has become my fourth favorite MCU movie. The only reason it's at fourth is because my top three never changed their spots. That's Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok, and Winter Soldier, not particularly in that order. This is my Joester review for Far From Home. You should know how this works by now, but if you're new here, just go watch my recap for Toy Story 4. So I don't have to explain it here. Anyway, but for today's episode, I'm going to spice things up a little bit. I'm going to ad-lib the entire actual review without any explicit spoilers. If I bring one up, then you guys get to comment below what I should do to punish myself. And I will take the comment that gets the most likes and do it in a future end segment. So, I hope you enjoy. So I would just like to preface this with, I'm filming this in all one continuous take, meaning that I'm not re-recording this. And so if I mess up my words or if a joke has bad timing, then you can just freaking deal with it. Okay, now the bad. There really isn't much that I have against this film. Like, there are a couple of minor plot nitpicks that you can level out this movie, but they don't really bother me that personally. So, yeah. Like, for an example of this is why did Tony give God dang it, why did Tony give a fully automated drone strike to a teenager? And there's so many more stuff like that you can level out this film, Peter's relationship with MJ coming out of nowhere. But actually, that one did kind of bother me a little bit. But it was relatively well-handled, well-handled. So it didn't really bother me that much, but it still came out of nowhere, so still kind of a problem. But there is one that does seriously bug me, and it's that all of the main set of teenagers, Peter, Flash, Ned, Betty, MJ, all of them somehow conveniently got dusted and brought back. I'm sorry, that's way too convenient for me to ignore. But I was able to ignore the majority of them. However, there is one major flaw that I do think this movie suffers from, and it's that it tries too hard to be unconventional. What I mean by that is that it purposefully tries to avoid using certain Spider-Man and superhero movie tropes, even in cases where it would actually help the story. Now, an example of this is actually how you could have defeated all of the problems that people have with the whole Edith glasses thing by just replacing that with the Iron Spider suit. If you're confused by what I mean, just check out Nando V Movies video about it, because pretty much anything I could say would pretty much just be repeating stuff that he said in his video, so I'm not gonna do it here. Anyway, I'll link it on screen now for you guys to go watch it. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that, it actually, the reason they didn't go down that route is because they don't want, the Spider-Man suit to be, this really important plot device, because they already did that in Homecoming. And I respect the fact that they don't want to be repetitive, but you've got to understand that there is a middle ground, and you just need to find it. Sorry, my headphones fell off my desk. Now, the neutral aspects of this movie. There is one big thing in that this movie was kind of predictable for me. However, I do kind of assume this is just a me thing, and it really only relies on information that I had prior to the movie. If I didn't know this one, admittedly quite major part of Marvel Comics lore, then I feel the big twist in the movie, I wouldn't have been able to predict. But I was able to predict the entire final battle simply because I knew what the Lego sets were. Like, I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't who haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm just going to say that because that's the game we're playing here. Anyway, I would just like to say this. One of the the big twist of the movie, its entire unpredictability relies on people not knowing a very famous aspect of Marvel Comics. So I think that's just like a problem with the movie and like them not realizing that that's kind of a stupid thing to rely on. But part of me says that they didn't really expect people to be surprised by that twist, so if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, I just sound like I'm rambling on a lot, which I kind of am, so I'm just gonna move on to the good now. The good. One of my favorite parts of this movie was Peter Parker's character arc. Like, I really liked it, and he went into a lot of depth about like all of this stuff that he's been going through in this past couple of years and what kind of effect trying to stop a purple alien geologist who wants to destroy the universe would have on someone's normal life. And I actually really liked that aspect of the movie. It was quite good, but I feel like if I were to like go in depth here, I wouldn't really be adding anything because I'd probably just be reiterating stuff that someone else somewhere else has already said. So I'm just gonna move on to my next point. Another of my favorite parts of the movie was Mysterio. He is genuinely now one of my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe villains. He's up there with Vulture and Bucky. And I would just like to say, I really like his connection to Iron Man and all of that, and he actually has a pretty good backstory. However, one of the reasons that I really, really like him is he specifically prevented something that I really hate in current media. And that's that when I first saw the trailer and they told us that he was from the multiverse, I was like, ugh, I hate multiverses in movies. It always just like completely undercuts any dramatic deaths or anything like that because they could just like bring in an alive version of it. Like they could bring back Tony Stark if they wanted to. Like in The Flash, there's a multiverse, and they bring in like the exact same character but with slightly different personalities every season. And that, like, bugs me so freaking much. However, I was so happy when in the movie they revealed that he was just faking the whole multiverse thing. And I would just like to say that the CGI in this movie is freaking amazing. It was a big improvement off of the slightly dodgy special effects in Homecoming, which yeah, I'm one of the people in that camp. But anyway, I really like the special effects in this movie. And the best scene that showcased this by freaking far was the illusion fight with Mysterio. Like, it was so freaking pretty and like awesome and action packed. Like, it was that's officially one of my favorite Marvel action sequences. Like, that's up there with like the highway fight from Winter Soldier and like the New York fight in Doctor Strange. Like, that's how good it was. Okay. Anyway, I also really liked Ned in this movie. He was absolutely hilarious. Oh, and there's something that I kind of skipped over like that was in my notes, but considering the fact that they got destroyed, I'm going to just like tell you it now. I really liked the action in this movie. I know I technically already brought it up, but it was just like so freaking good. Anyway, let's move on. As has pretty much become expected now, one of my favorite parts of this movie was the humor. Like, it is impossible for Marvel to make an unfunny movie, or at least the MCU to make an unfunny movie. The jokes in Fanforstic were pretty much non-existent. Anyway, let's cut it to the final verdict. Can I pull off a dramatic to be continued like that? Probably not, but I don't care. So, I hope you enjoyed the review. There is more video coming up, so please don't leave. The consensus was that Far From Home was a really good movie with minor flaws. It tried to be unconventional, but was not 100% successful at it. So let's cut to today's end segment. Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm not getting enough cringe in my life? Have you ever thought to yourself, aren't I not dead enough inside yet? Well, fear no more, because I have created the ultimate playlist that will definitely make you cringe. It features such iconic legends such as Baby Shark, Baby by Justin Bieber, Sweatshirt by Jacob Sartorius, this 10-second gif of Trump flossing, and the Kids Bop cover of Old Town Road. You will surely be dead inside after watching this cringe compilation. Thank you for your time. God, that was so freaking gritty.